The last few days it's just been very tough. And knowing that you have families that are hurting right now. We'll get through it though.
A very emotional day for law enforcement and the entire Charlotte community after a deadly officer shooting in the Shannon Park neighborhood yesterday. Queen City News reporter Daniel Pierce joining us live right now from the Government Center, where we learned about an hour and a half ago the name of that fourth officer killed. Daniel, what else can you tell us?
Yeah, we learned about an hour and a half ago that that fourth officer, US Marshal Thomas Weeks, was shot and killed. He was 48 years old, and we learned that he goes by Tommy Weeks. He was known as Tommy around the office. He is lived in the Charlotte area and was known by a lot of people in this community. So, you know, I know we played a little bit of how emotional this is for Johnny Jennings, but it's emotional for every single individual that was up there speaking today. Also, we learned from Chief Jennings a little bit more about the service in the death of CMPD Officer Joshua Iyer. As you heard, again, an incredibly emotional day from the standpoint of Johnny Jennings. He spoke about how in his 3 decades of doing this job, he's never had a moment like this happen. He spoke about shaking Officer Iyer's hand last month, congratulating him on winning an award and having some good conversations with him. But today, he was standing here in the government building having to talk about his death, saying that whenever he responded, he was in the act of trying to rescue one of those U.S. Marshal officers that had been hit by gunfire when he himself was shot and later died. We also learned, no surprise, that it is incredibly difficult, but also the big question that was asked as well. I know there are some just emotional counseling and emotional support agents over there near CMPD headquarters, but it was brought up today, you know, what is being done whenever we talk about the mentality of the officers that worked side by side with each of these individuals day in and day out, who were on the scene trying to rescue them. It was asked what is being done for their emotional and mental well-being. This right here is a little bit of the response to that question.
While we're worrying about others, while we are trying to take care of the community and the community is trying to take care of us, sometimes we don't take care of ourselves. And so the wellness of all of our staffs is very critical. And so we must now invest. The healing is going to be long, it's going to be tough, but I think if we stay together, we can get through this and heal and come stronger as a profession and as a community. So I would implore any officer, local, state, or federal, that if you need assistance, it's okay not to be okay, and make sure that you ask. And I would think we should just keep repeating that. And repeating that is always the goal of any leader of the agency, never to have this discussion, but to prepare for it. And equally important is to prepare that our people can have a safe, healthy career, and so that they can retire in good shape, both emotionally and physically.
It was also asked about any sort of vigils or public memorial that was going to be prepared for these individuals, and I was told that conversations are being had about that. We also were able to learn a little bit more about the other 4 CMPD officers that were hurt in this response. We know that Chris Tolley, who has been a part of the law enforcement brotherhood for 18 years, he had surgery for a gunshot wound last night and is in stable condition, but is still in the hospital. We learned Michael Giglia, a 3-year service member, was treated and has been released. Jack Blowers has been a part of the department for 1 year, treated and released, and also Mr. Campbell, who has joined the department in 2022. They were treated for a broken foot in this response, and they have also been released. We learned a little bit more about the timeline, as well as the gunfire that officers were met with as they were trying to serve out this warrant. We're going to piece together a little bit more of this news conference and bring you an updated report at 4, 5, and 6 later on this afternoon. Live outside the Government Center, Daniel Pierce, Queen City News.